Forget Yellowstone, this real-life rancher is stealing the spotlight from Kevin Costner's John Dutton with a wild new show. Yellowstone no longer has a monopoly on cowboy dynasties. Although John Dutton, Kevin Costner, may have left a legacy behind on Yellowstone, another patriarch is rising up with the McBee Dynasty. Steve McBee Sr. has led his family to fame with the McBee Dynasty, but his choices may risk the farm. The McBee Dynasty aired its first season in 2024 on Peacock and is back for a second season, this time on Bravo. Although Steve Sr. is missing from season 2, there is no doubt that his presence will be looming. Fictional patriarch John Dutton left a lasting mark on Yellowstone for 6 seasons, and Steve Sr. is cut from a similar cloth. Like John, he's no joke. He's built a powerful legacy, and now it's up to his children to carry it forward. Steve Sr. made the McBee Dynasty what it is today, a lot like Kevin Costner's John Dutton on Yellowstone. Steve Sr. was at the center of everything in the first season of the McBee Dynasty. When John was murdered, it fell on his children to handle the ranch, which ultimately resulted in Case Dutton, Luke Grimes, giving the land to the Broken Rock Reservation. Similarly, the Season 2 trailer of the McBee Dynasty makes it clear that the McBee family will have to deal with the consequences of Steve Sr.'s actions in his absence. The McBee family became reality television stars due to Steve Sr. The rags to riches story of Steve Sr. and the farm, coupled with the popularity of shows like Yellowstone, made picking up the McBee Dynasty a no-brainer. Steve Sr. worked hard to secure investments. Yet despite the genuine drama of running a ranch, there is a reason why the McBee Dynasty has found a new home on Bravo. In the best way, Bravo is known for toxic relationships and problematic celebrities. Although the McBee Dynasty shares many similarities with a grittier show like Yellowstone, the issues within the family are more suited to Bravo. Steve Sr. is no exception. Besides keeping McBee farm and cattle afloat, Steve Sr. also tried to maintain his relationships with 2 different women. No one on the McBee Dynasty has as many relationship troubles as Steve Sr. In fact, in Season 2, it is revealed, according to Bravo, that Steve Sr. has been dating Galina Saltkovska's friend. Galina is Steve Sr.'s ex-girlfriend. Galina was not just a romantic partner, though. She is an investor working with a family, and Steve Sr.'s choice has rubbed her the wrong way. Of course, John Dutton was not one to shy away from mixing business and pleasure either. Notably, John dated Governor Linnell Perry, Wendy Moniz, who endorsed John in his campaign for governor and was a large part of how he got elected. However, unlike John and Linnell, Steve Sr. has done nothing but hurt Galina since the McBee Dynasty began. Steve Sr. would do anything for the McBee Ranch, just like John Dutton. Another reason Steve Sr. has been compared to Yellowstone's John Dutton is that he has been operating outside the law. John Dutton orchestrated multiple murders before he was killed, all in the name of saving the ranch. Now, don't worry, Steve Sr. has not killed anyone, but he has been charged and convicted of fraud. People magazine reported that Steve Sr. has pleaded guilty and is awaiting sentencing in a multi-million-dollar fraud case involving crop insurance. In the last episode of Season 1, after deals fell through, Steve Sr. is seen leaving the ranch behind. At the time, it was unclear what would happen next, but after Steve Sr.'s conviction, there is no question. Allegedly, Steve Sr. falsified insurance documents to ensure that there were sufficient funds to cover the farm and the McBee family's affluent lifestyle. Steve Sr. could face prison for committing fraud to save the farm. The McBee Dynasty has to continue without Steve Sr. like Yellowstone. Steve Sr. may be the patriarch of the McBee family, but there is nothing he can do now that he is in trouble with the law. Season 2 will explore the consequences of Steve Sr.'s actions. It is up to Steve McBee Jr. and the rest of the McBee clan to pick up the pieces and start fresh. According to Bravo's website, the business is not the only thing on the rocks with the McBee family. As finances struggle, so do the siblings' romantic relationships. Although Steve Sr.'s drama will still seep into Season 2, the next generation is making up for his absence. The McBee family will have to salvage what is left of the farm in the wake of Steve Sr.'s failure to save the ranch. Steve Sr. brought McBee Farm and Cattle Company into the spotlight. However, in his attempts to save the ranch, Steve Sr.'s actions have led to consequences for his family that have yet to be revealed. Much like John Dutton's legacy, Steve Sr. may have brought an end to the McBee family's ranch.